If you've ever been on safari in Africa, then you'll know there's much more to the bush than just the wildlife. There's also an abundance of spirits, some good and some evil. While walking back from a long day of game drives, our group started telling scary stories around the campfire. And one of the rangers mentioned that he sometimes hears people arguing with these spirits. "Can't they see we are trying to enjoy our dinner?" he says. But the spirits don't care. They want their space, and sometimes they can be territorial. I thought this was just another tall tale until I heard similar stories from other rangers and even some guests. Are these spirits real, or is it all just made up to scare tourists? After speaking with many people and doing some research, I realized there is some truth to these stories. In this video, I will share some of the scariest stories I've heard about the spirits of the African bush and decide if they still exist today. Before we start, I would like to say this video is not intended to scare anyone. It's just meant to educate people about the spiritual side of Africa, which is often forgotten about. Many people visit Africa to get away from their problems back home and all the stress that comes with modern life. The vast wilderness and raw beauty of Africa has a way of making you feel very small, like you are nothing but a tiny speck in this huge universe. This feeling of humility is something that everyone needs to experience more often, but it can be difficult to achieve when you're busy running from one problem to the next. It is easy to get so caught up in the stresses of daily life that you forget there is more to this world than just your problems. The first story I heard was from a ranger who works at a private reserve in the Sabi Sands. He told me about a family of 4 who stopped at the same exact spot every night for their sundowners. One evening, the family got into a big fight. It got so bad that the husband and wife started yelling at each other. The 2 kids were crying, and no one was having a good time anymore. The ranger went up to them and asked if everything was okay. He had never seen this family argue before, and he was worried about the kids. When the father told him everything was fine, he wasn't convinced. So he told them maybe they should move and have their sundowners somewhere else because the mood was really dark. The family agreed, and they moved to a different spot. 10 minutes later, the ranger heard loud screams coming from the new location. He rushed over and found the 2 kids screaming in terror. Their parents were nowhere to be found. He searched for them for 15 minutes until he finally saw them hiding under a bush. They were shaking and still screaming, but now they were crying. The parents apologized to the ranger and told him they had been arguing earlier, but everything was fine now. He knew they were lying and decided to leave them alone. That night, both families got a scolding from the manager. According to the manager, there's a spirit that haunts this area and it doesn't like people fighting. Families who ignore the warnings usually end up leaving the reserve early. No one knows what happened to the family, but I assume they left without going on any more game drives. There are also reports of a vengeful witch doctor who haunts the area. Many years ago, a group of poachers killed a rhino and left its horn behind. A young ranger found the horn and took it to the nearest village. There he met an old man who told him that his grandfather was a powerful witch doctor who lived deep in the bush. He warned the young ranger to return the horn or face the consequences. Days later, the young ranger went missing and his body was never found. Some believe he was killed by the witch doctor's spirit. Are these stories true or just made up to scare tourists? I believe they are true, and there are many other stories like these that have happened at different lodges. It's impossible to prove or disprove these stories, but that doesn't mean they aren't true. Africa is a very spiritual place, and there are many things that we can't explain with science. Just because we can't see something doesn't mean it isn't there. There are many things in the world that we see and explain, and that is what makes life so interesting. If you ever go on safari, be respectful of the land and the spirits that may be living there. Don't drink too much, act like an idiot, or make a lot of noise. You never know who or what might be watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on my next adventure.